everybody. Welcome back to Sports Khabri. Today, we are discussing a very important topic, which is of POIs and OCIs and their role in Indian football. Of course, the topic has been discussed vastly over the last few years, but it has resurfaced since the last couple of weeks, especially because of a man who's sitting here with us, Triman Ranvir. Thank you, Triman, for joining us today. Triman is a young boy of 18 years old. He has decided to let go of his Belgian passport and apply for an Indian passport to play for the Indian national team. That's what he dreams of. We are also joined by Nilanjan Datta, Ranjit Bajaj, Pranay Singh to discuss more on the issue. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Before I start the conversation, I just want to quickly read one line, which is very important for this entire discussion, which is that the only way PIO and OCI footballers can represent India in international football right now is by surrendering their current passports of their present countries and apply for the citizenship of India. This is something that we all know of. Triman, you're 18 years old. You've had a career in Belgium. You've been playing since a long time. Can you tell us what your career was like in Belgium, and why did you decide to let go of it and come to India?
Yes, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having me. And to start about my career in Belgium, I started playing my club football at the age of 11 years old at a local club because I was introduced by the game by my father and friends at my school. So I started playing locally, mostly for fun. But then the team that I used to play for got promoted and started playing at a higher level. So it got more competitive. No, it was fun, but it started getting competitive. But I wasn't selected for the team. And it was difficult for me at that age. It was like 13 years old to comprehend that my friends are all going to that team and I had to go a step lower. And I still wasn't dreaming about going professional, but then I started playing at the lowest division of Belgium, the worst team of the country also. It was in the articles, the worst team of Belgium. I played there and I was better than everybody. Naturally, I was better than them and I saw I was more talented. So that gave me some kind of motivation that I maybe could pursue something because they were also like me, they want to play for fun, but I was just much better than every player on the team. And then slowly but surely, I wanted to climb up the ladders in Belgian football. And then that team where I played before got promoted once again. So they were playing at the highest amateur division, and then I tried for them, played for them, and yeah, step by step, I got accepted. In the beginning of the season, got the evaluation. 3 times the season we have evaluation where they give you a score. I got from a 5, I got to a 7, and ended with 8.5, and the top score of the season. And I got scouted by a professional club, AFC Tubis, where the Hazard brothers from Belgium play, the captain, Eden Hazard from Real Madrid, Torgen Hazard from Dortmund. Yeah. So I played at that club 1 year, and the season after that, I went to the highest amateur division in Belgium, and I played for SK Londenzel for 2 years. And the under-19s, I played also for the reserve team. And the year after that, I went to the Netherlands, and I played for the VRS Academy, which played against the Bundesliga teams, Rotwest Essen under-19. I played against teams from Brazil, Fluminense, I played against them. I played against top division teams from Sweden, Malby, I think they're called, and like much more. So that's my European experience for you. I also played in Finland, second division. I've trialed there. I've played in Slovenia. I've played in Spain also a week, and yeah, many countries. At the age of 18, I think it's a good experience. And now coming to India, which my next chapter lays, I'm just trying to get my passport and just wanted to play for my country. So it was a tough decision, but yeah, I'm glad I made it, and I just want to be on the pitch as soon as possible and start my career in India.
Nilanjan, Triman is not the first person to come to India with a similar dream. We have had athletes in the past who wanted to play for India, but the road was very difficult for them, and eventually only one of them was allowed, and rest of them had to, let go of their dream. Can you throw some light on, the struggles that they had to go through?
Well, more than the struggles, I would say, means all said and done. First of all, Simran, welcome to India, number one. And number
Thanks,
two
sir.
point, there's a vast difference between people who are claiming to be players of Indian origin and expressing their interest to play for India, and Timran in this case, who is willing to surrender his passport. I'm not aware of what the actual status is, and surrendering his passport and acquiring an Indian passport to play for India. So there's a major difference between the two. A and B is obviously there have been players when the dual passport rule. It's now unfortunately not in our country. When the dual passport rule was allowed, there were two players, as far as my memory goes. I remember in the early 2000s, Stephen Constantine's first stint as the national team coach. Ebi Kodaitu, a guy from the US, came out and trained in Goa for almost around 25, 26 days. But the coach at that time, Stephen, felt he was not good enough to be playing for India, not better enough than the players which he had in the team. The midfield comprising of Climax Lawrence, Renedy Singh, Sanmugam Venkatesh, Jatin Singh Bist, Tumba Singh. Stephen said, if at all I need any player to be coming from abroad and playing, the guy has to be twice as better than what I have in my current contingent. He told me in an interview, why? Because I cannot monitor what he's doing all throughout. I'm based in India, having a look at my players, what his fitness regime is, how many matches he's playing. I cannot speak to him each and every day. Remember, we are speaking about early 2000 when WhatsApp and internet calls were not readily available. ISD speaking was not there. So that's what Stephen felt. Obviously, we had to go by the coach. People felt there may be someone who's coming in and playing. The dual passport was allowed. And then the same year, there was another guy called Simran Singh from Denmark who came into play. Simran is currently a real estate businessman in Copenhagen, as far as I know. He also trained for a long time. But Stephen again felt that he could not displace I am Vijayan and Baichung Bhutia, who was playing in his prime at that time. However, having said that, Stephen did want to went all out to acquire Michael Chopra for the national team. Michael was at the time playing in Newcastle United. Obviously, had intentions and dreams of playing for England. Why not? But Stephen told him to be realistic and come over to play for India. And always the coach felt that with Baichung at his sublime and Michael would have been a very lethal combination, one of the best combinations in Asia. That's what the coach felt. Didn't go through. The dual passport rule was taken away by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports and also the Government of India 2007, 2008. I don't exactly remember the date. Mr. Gill was at the time the Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs and Sports. And since then, again, there have been talks of Michael coming back. Bob Houghton wanted him for 2011 Asian Cup, Doha 2011, but he didn't surrender his English passport. Timran, on the other hand, is willing and has surrendered his passport and come over to play. When Wim Kovermans came in, he talked of Prince Rajkumar to be coming in and playing. Stephen came in, he wanted Danny Bath, Jan Danda. Igor also wants the same thing. It's a debate whether it's right or wrong. That's a different situation altogether. But that's what this situation is. But there's a vast difference of players expressing their interest to play for India and a guy out here who's there who has already surrendered and said, okay, I am willing to come and make myself eligible to play for India. There's a
Nilanjan
vast difference, and we need to understand that.
Nilanjan bhai, just wanted to ask you, in the Under 17 World Cup, didn't we have this goalkeeper? He actually came to my academy and he trained with me for like over a month. And then he went to the Under 17 team, and apparently he was a Canadian citizen, Sunny Dhaliwal or something like that. He's the guy
Exactly.
who took the spot of Mohammad Nawaz, by the way. So the keeper for, so Nawaz, the keeper for
Yeah,
FC Goa.
Nawaz. FC Goa,
Yeah,
Mumbai
that
City FC.
yeah. That boy was replaced and he came in and he played the World Cup, and then after that again he disappeared. But apparently he
Even
gave
in
up
fact,
his, did he give up his
carry on,
citizenship? I
carry
mean, give up his passport? What did he do?
in fact, even Namit Deshpande came in and played for India. He played
Yeah,
the match against Colombia. He partnered Anwar out there to be playing
yeah.
against Colombia.
Did he like
They
give up
obviously
their
did.
passports?
Yeah. As far as I know, they surrendered their passports and came over to play for the country. But obviously, we have not heard about them. I hear on Google that Namit is a coach right now.
I
But
heard
as
Sunny
far as the
again took
senior
up
team is concerned,
citizenship.
that's what it was.
I heard that
But
he took up citizenship again of Canada, and now he's playing in some Canadian league somewhere. So that's what I've heard.
वहां जाने ये बंद करो
that I am not aware. That I am not aware. I cannot be saying on anything on that. So Akshata, that's it in a nutshell what it is.
Yeah. Ranjit, I would like to come to you next. Why is it that you decided to become Triman's agent? And also,
Oh,
a
so
follow-up
it
question on
was.
this is that considering your role at Minerva, Won't this be a conflict of interest, uh, being an agent to Triman?
See, I'll tell you. First of all, it was never a plan to be his agent, and this happened very, very recently. There were certain incidents which led up to it. Um, the Triman and me just had a casual talk one day on social media, and he sent me his videos, and this is a dream he has. So I from day one told him, because I get a lot of these messages, okay, from boys who want to play for India. And the moment the messages stop coming is when I tell them that, listen, if you want to give up, first, are you willing to give up your passport? If you say yes, then I'll talk to you. Otherwise, I'm not going to waste my time with you. No matter what you say, because otherwise, there's no point. Till the rule, like Nilanjan Datta said, that till the rule comes in, we can't do anything about it. It's the rule. By the way, it's not only AIFF, it's for all sports persons, and it's a rule which stands for all citizenship. So a rule cannot be changed, by the way, by AIFF. The rule will have to be changed by Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports and the Ministry of External Affairs and the Parliament or the government. Okay, so it's a very huge process for the dual. That's why I don't think it's never going to be overnight. It's going to be done. So that is why. Are you willing to give up your passport? And everyone says no. This boy, coming from a country whose ranking right now is world number 1 or 2, and has been world number 1 for so long, and saying that, not a boy who has never played football and says, okay, fine, I'd rather go play football there, like by the way, our cricketers do. So our boys who don't make it here in our Ranji teams or in our state level teams are going and playing in the international squads of other countries because they're not good enough here. But this boy was good enough to play in the levels how the progression of a normal European boy is. He was progressing in the same regard. So it wasn't that he was not getting opportunities or chances there. That means it's very much possible that if Triman now also decides to go back and puts in the hard work and continues on this process, he will turn into a professional player in the European League. So there's no doubt about that, unless, God forsaken, there's no injury and all. Otherwise, the progression, which is. So, how do I see progression? In any footballer, if he has been playing from the age of 10, 11, 12, 13 in an organized setup, technically he'll be very good for life, not just for 2 years, 5 years, for life. These skills are for life. And then if he keeps on getting game time, he'll keep improving. And that's what he was on. But the moment when he talked to me for the first time on the phone, and he says, I knew that he's willing to give up his passport, but he said, I want to play for my country. And that's what touched me. And he keeps on saying that again and again. This boy has been born and brought up in Belgium, and he calls India my country. That's why I said, okay, fine, I'm going to go out on a limb and support you. I'm here for you. I've seen your level. So he asked me a very open question, because he says that, will I be able to play for the Indian under-19 team? Am I of that level? I said, yes, you are of that level, because I've seen your videos. But will you be able to adapt to the game style here? That you'll only come to know once you come here and play, because there's a very big difference in playing football there and football here. It's a different kind. The moment your level drops and you play with this, if you're able to keep up to the same level, same grounds, weather, I mean, so many things. When he came here for the first time and I saw him play, I knew that this boy has it in him, because he was playing with our senior team and he was holding his own. He was playing with our under-18 team and he was holding his own. And that was on day one. So it could have only got better. So I knew that this boy is good. And it was nothing till then. We just said, okay, fine. But there was very big hoopla about him coming to India, because, it's a Belgian giving up a path. It's never happened before. And this, if it happens right, so why are people excited about it? Why are people going crazy about it or talking about it? Why is it such a hot topic? Because it's not about Triman, okay? You have to understand. He's going to be a path breaker. He's going to be the guy who's going to set the standards. So if this happens, that means he's opened up a road for all other footballers to do it. अभी सिर्फ बात हो रही थी, अभी तक कभी हुआ नहीं था. इसने at least करके दिखाया, willing to do it. So अगर ये हो गया, at least we'll know that what are the problems which are going to be faced. So suppose this guy, now he's not a star, okay? He's not achieved anything in his life, I mean, as a professional footballer. And if he's finding these problems, do you really think a star who's somebody like a Michael Chopra, what Nilanjan Datta was saying, if he's wanting to give up his citizenship. He's going to wait for 5 years and become an OCI citizen, and then after that, he's going to wait for another 2 years. 7 साल में तो बंदे का career खत्म हो जाएगा football में. So if this has to happen, the procedure has to be so quick that because sports people waiting for 5 years is the career over. You are in your prime only for 5 years, man. So you can't wait for 5 years. It's either yes or no. So that has to be changing. Now, why I became his agent? So what happened was that he got a call from one agent, okay, and that agent told him that I have got a trial arranged for you. Not trial, I've got a contract done for you in Kerala Blasters. And that is on day one of him arriving back to India finally, okay, that okay, I'm going to do this. And I had told him that listen, till the time you get it, the only professional football you can play in India is now, because the Reliance League is going on under 21. And for the first time I've seen there's a rule which says that people with OCI cards or PIO cards are allowed to play, two of them. So I said, wow, it's a great opportunity. Come and we'll put you out on there and someone will contact you. And well and good, within day one, Kerala Blasters happened. And he came to me, I told him, I said, what are you thinking of? Pack your bags, go. Brilliant. I was so happy for him. And we were actually hugging that, oh my God, it's happened so fast. You were just arrived. So the next day he calls me that I'm waiting for my ticket to come and they have not sent me a ticket. So I said, okay, fine, that we can arrange. We can get you a ticket. There's no problem. His dad said, okay, I'll buy you a ticket. Then they said that no, they're not even willing to give you a contract and there is nothing known as an amateur contract, which I said is not true. There are not only amateur contracts. Now AIFF has put it on this website. You can only sign one contract, amateur and professional, and it's available there. You can't even change one word from that contract. It's there. So when he told me that means I thought that they're trying to get him there for a trial. Now what happens is that if this boy goes there for a trial, there's nobody there to pick him up or to talk to him. He's not an Indian going there. It's a foreign citizen coming here and going there. Now him sitting there without knowing what to do, whether he's going to get game time, whether he's going to get food, whether he's going to get stay, whether he's going to get anything, someone has just called him there. That is the time I knew that people will try to take advantage of it. Now, how it's not a conflict of interest? Because for the next 2 years, he cannot play for an I League club or for a second division club at all, or at least for a year till he gets his passport. Okay, me being an owner of a second division club, I can't play foreigners in my team. Simple. Till the time AIFF says or the Football Federation says that you can't be helping him deal. Now, he's like all my other, I don't take him as a player, I take him as my under 18 boys who I'm representing so that they get this. Now, the moment he gets the first contract, I've got nothing to do with it, of him or with him. So he's going to be this. This is for him to establish a base in India. With this, I know that no one can take him for a ride. Because see, if this goes belly up, okay, and tomorrow other people come to know in all over the world that, I'm talking about Indians who want to come back, that this is the way our boys are treated. I'm saying if something had gone wrong, or this is the way our boys are treated, and this is the way even if they want to give up citizenship, this is what happens to them. There's no one to support them, no one takes care of them, no one gives a damn. It is a very big deterrent for them to even think about it. Okay. And that's what I didn't want to happen, because I know, like Pranay has always been saying on his shows, that every country is doing it. Every country is taking every edge they can. In fact, some other countries are naturalizing citizens who've got nothing to do with their country at all. For example, the Qatar team. And forget that, the French team. The French team has all Algerians and all those people playing for them. And look how well they're doing. And for that matter, the Belgium team itself. So everybody is doing it. So why not Indian? At least we are saying we will only take people of Indian descent. They've got our blood. So I think it should be encouraged. And if we do that, we will reach where we want to reach at least 10 years before that. Why? Because to reach the World Cup, you need to have boys who have, like Triman, grown up in that system where from 10 to 18 are playing football on a daily basis against the best level and from best coaches. When those boys like Yan Dhandas and him and Michael Chopra's, Danny Baths, by the way, Wolves a captain legend. He's been centre back for Wolves for so many years. Imagine even if we get 5, 6 of them at one time. We'll definitely be in the top 10 of Asia, and we'll definitely be in the next World Cup because they're 48 teams. That's all it takes.
Ranjit,
Just 5 players.
yeah, I'll come back to you. Before that, I just want to quickly go to Pranay also. And Pranay, you have been following the OCI matter since a while now. Considering your channel, you interact with a lot of Indian football fans. Can you tell us what the general feel of OCIs is with the fans, and is there awareness of it or not? Because in India, a lot of people don't even know that there's something called as a OCI or a
OCI.
PIOS policy, which is not allowing athletes to play for the Indian national team, regardless of the sport that we are discussing. So, can you throw some light on that, please?
Actually, I'll just say OCI topic is kind of, I blatantly say it, it's more of a taboo, I would say. It's more of a taboo between all the fans that I've interacted with, be it some of the personal friends that I have, and of course, it has a layer of, understand that it has a layer of, the ideas that you have or the ideology that you have. Some people do have, and I respect, whatever the opinion it is, I respect everyone's opinion, but there are some people who say that that if it's an Indian football team, then only Indian should be announced. Like only those players should be playing. And there have been cases, where people are saying that no, we need to be also be open for dual citizenship for that fact. So I think it's kind of a mix. I would still say it's kind of a mixed bag of Indian fans as of now. As my perspective, it is, I've always been vocal that Indian football should be at subpar of what the Europeans are doing it, European or even South Americans, for that example, is uh, it's not just about getting the good players and getting all the best tricks of the trades, like how Ranjit sir just mentioned about French, because they are at the pinnacle. They are at the pinnacle, so of course that is one of the biggest example that one can set off. But even if you look out at some of the local European teams, they also are, a lot of Africans do play for their country. And of course, if you take out the matter for fact, Qatar, if we take out, so a lot of African players do still play, being non Qatari citizen. So for matter of the fact is that for me, as a person, I would anyways welcome anyone with open arms who wants to play or represent, Indian national team, if he's good enough. It also, what psychologically, it also helps us in terms of the current pool of players to also compete. When that there's a better player coming outside, to India, that it's not that you have, of course, with the ISL, there we have got great amount of pool with no disrespect to anyone, but it also sets in their mind that if this gets open up, we need to also level up our game. So with that, I think, I in particular, for this topic, I support anything that supports Indian football, which levels up to the, which takes us to the next level. It also helps us opportunity. One of the topics that in one of the videos that I previously mentioned was, we anyways need to get below 70 or 60 rank, even for our players to go outside and play. But again, the question arises that right now we no like we don't have a player, we don't have such great amount of pool of players who can play outside. So how, that's a vicious cycle that keeps on going, that like it keeps on going, that so if we get players like, for example, Triman, and we get, we get more outside players inside our national team, and we anyway improve our ranks maybe around 70 to 60, then we have our own pool of players also going outside and getting great exposure like Triman, and also like it benefits all of us. So that is where I currently stand right now.
Thank you. Triman, can you throw some light on what has the journey been like ever since you decided to come to India and apply for an Indian passport? The struggle has been, of course, ongoing, right? So can you briefly touch upon what you had to go through till now?
Yeah, I mean, there has been positive and negatives, surely, but the most proud thing is probably the reaction from the people, and like even this, all the attention I'm getting and the positive way that everyone has been communicating with me. You don't have an idea how many messages I get daily, and how many even emails. People find my email on net and send me emails. Thank you for coming to India, and it's such a proud feeling. And yeah, it's been difficult also in a sense of leaving my country of origin, and Yeah, it's I still bring still tears to my eyes when I was leaving Belgium. I remember at the airport it was really difficult saying goodbye to my brother and to my mother and to all my cousins, nieces, everybody. It was really difficult, and it was difficult for them to understand. My father, no, because he was every step of my journey has been with me. So we are like two people in one, you know. So we never had any difference of opinions. We always came to the conclusion together. So yeah, he was you have to go. I told him about Ranjit Bajaj sir and what the kind of person he is, and he was on board with the plan and willing to meet him when I came. So yeah, we met Ranjit sir, and he allowed me to train with the under 17 team and the preparations for the I League under 17. And yeah, it went really well. I had great training. I could stay in the hostels and just great fun and experiencing Indian football with my eyes. So it was difficult, but leaving Belgium. But I hope it's gonna be a good experience, and I think it would be.
Yeah. And what's your current passport status like, if you can tell us that?
Officially, I'm still in Belgium with the Indian OCI card. But the thing is, to apply for Indian citizenship, I went yesterday again. They said I need to be 5 years OCI holder, which I think is, in my opinion, nonsense. You're an Indian OCI holder, so I don't think there's any difference if you have it 10 years or 1 year. It's still the same thing, and that's what I find a bit bizarre. But I mean, to start from, I don't know if you read my tweet. What actually happened was first I went to the embassy of India in Brussels, Belgium, and I told about what I was going to do. They didn't even know if there was a service that supports this because nobody has ever asked the embassy to do this. And like I'm the first person, so it was like explaining, showing my videos to them and showing who you Ranjit sir is, and they were like, okay. Then they were taking me seriously, and they sent like the main guy from the back. He came and talked with me and said, "Yeah, I heard you want to become an Indian citizenship, so you know you're gonna give up your Belgian passport like 3-4 times." I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." He said, "Okay, let me hear what I can do for you." And he invited me again a week later and said, "We can apply it for you, but the thing is, it's better you go to India, go to the DC office in Nawashehar and apply it there because we're gonna send our file either way there. So to speed up the process, go there." So I thought, yeah, let me go, and until then, I'm gonna train with Ranjit Bajaj Sir's academy and do my passport process. So then I came to India like a month after I came back. I went back to India, I think less than a month maybe. And yeah, I came and I went to the DC office in Nawashehar, and I met with the DC 3 days after like waiting for him. I went to talk to his vice, and he said, "Yeah, he's gonna come today." And then we came, and then he wasn't there. Then we came again 2 hours later. He wasn't there. And then after 3 days waiting, we finally met him and explained to him what the situation is. He said that he cannot do much for me and that I should go to the passport office in Jalandhar. So after that, I go to the Jalandhar passport office and I explained to them that I what the status is and that the DC office sent me personally, and that the Belgium embassy sent me of Brussels, and I had to wait like 3 hours in the line. And then once I'm inside, I had to wait like another hour inside for my turn. And then when I talked to them, they said, "Yeah, we cannot do anything. You have to apply for citizenship first. Then you can apply for passport." And before I even stood in the line, my father and me asked, "Can we just ask one question so we know if we have to wait 4 hours in the line or not? Otherwise, we can just go right now. Otherwise, no point in waiting. So if you're gonna say no either way, can you just let us ask a question? No, behind the line." And then after like 5-6 hours, we got the question, the answer that I expected. And then now it's the problem of home affairs, and the site isn't also easy to access, and once you access it doesn't work as well as maybe Belgium site. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be difficult. I think getting the passport in the normal way is gonna take like a lot of years. I mean, for a normal citizenship, for a normal person coming, it's no issue because he's gonna stay here. But I'm an athlete. I'm gonna be a footballer. I want to be a professional footballer. I cannot wait even 2 years or 1 year if it's going to be difficult. So why imagine waiting 7 years? My prime is going to be over then. So it's no point in waiting that much time. I really am positive about this, and I really want to keep a positive mindset in this journey, even though how negative it is. It could have been really negative also, but I'm trying to be positive and go through this. But I hope that the Indian Football Federation supports me and the Indian government to get my passport not original way, but just support me through, because I didn't come for normal reasons. I really want to do something for Indian football and make an example for all the other Indian players that are thinking about coming, and I just want to pave the way, not for myself only, again, for all Indian football. So I hope that the Indian government recognizes me at least, and just replies to my comments, because I don't understand, like the Rio Ferdinand case and Jan Danda. He replied in like 10 minutes. I think his name is Saji, sir. I'm not sure what his name is. He replied in 10-15 minutes. And with my tweet, I think I don't know how many interactions it got. It was massive. And so I think at least 200-300 people tagged him. One person I know messaged him personally, who he follows. He's seen the tweet, hasn't replied till now. So that's where my issue lays, and I think
Bro,
they should at
so
least speak up.
okay, so this is like welcome to India. All the story you've
Yeah,
said. None of us see, all of
everyone said
us,
that. Yeah,
when we so when we are hearing you say all these things, we know because we go through all this every single day. So we can just feel sorry for you, but we can't feel surprised. Oh my God, we are none of us are surprised that oh my God, this happened to you. No, we knew that. Oh my God, this is and that's the sad part. But this is what we have to get better. So that's how you're going to. You don't understand, Triman. Doesn't matter what comes out of this. At least they started the conversation. This has started a dialogue. It started now a way of showing people that even if somebody wants to give up his citizenship, it's not possible with the current laws, because no one is going to wait for 5 years, 2 years, 1 year. A top, like you are a junior, bro, under 18. Some, a guy coming from, suppose he's playing in the Premier League in England, he's not even going to wait for one season. That's 4 months. Either you give it to him, I'll come and play. I'm not going to get up for 4 months and leave that and come here. So it's a huge decision. First to give up your citizenship, then to give up your career there. And then it should be welcoming with the red carpet, which is not happening here. And that's what hopefully we get right, or we change the law. So one thing has to happen.
Nilanjan, I'll come to you next. We have discussed the OCI matter a lot in our Twitter spaces. Arata Izumi is, I think, the only person who has been allowed to play for India till now. And of course, it's a lot of people complain that the AIFF is not listening to them, but it's not the AIFF matter, as Ranjit already mentioned during the podcast itself. Uh, but what we are failing to also see here is that for many other sports, they are not in favor of OCIs. It's something that football fans are, of course, wanting, but other sports, I recently had a word with Vishal Uppal, who played tennis for India, and he was strongly against the OCI policy because individual sports suffer in a different way. So now, within the sports industry, there are segments that want the OCI policy. There are segments of favorable OCI policy and segments that do not. How can the federation be involved in a case like this? And what is it that Arata did right that opened the door for him?
Well, two, three questions there. First of all, while hearing to everyone, Timran, along with Ranjit Bhai, maybe you can also have a chat with Arata, because he's also been already surrendered his Japanese passport and playing for
Nilanjan,
India.
I think Triman, you were saying that you talked to him, yeah, something, yeah.
yes.
Oh,
Actually,
I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware.
yes,
But
yeah,
in Arata's case, he was sorry, Timran, carry on, please.
yes. My apologies for interrupting. Before I forget, he actually made a tweet. I didn't expect it at all. Some people tweeted because after the whole passport situation, I made a long thread, a tweet, and he saw that one because people were tagging him and said, "Yeah, talk to Triman, give him advice, do what you did." And then he made a tweet that said, "After 10 years, another player is willing to give up his passport and is going to come to India." 10 years after him, and I'm the first person. So even my name is being linked to him is an absolute honor. He's an absolute legend, and yeah, we spoke on the phone. He gave us my phone number, and we talked a bit, and just gave me advice how football in India is. And he said, honestly, give me honest advice, and he said I just should have patience and trust the process, and that if I need any help from him or any advice, I can call him whenever. And I said, yeah, so it's really appreciate him for doing that. So it's a good contact for me, and if I ever need anything, I know he's there for me.
Oh, that's nice. In fact, I wasn't aware of the same. While hearing to each and everyone, it just came to my mind that through Ranjit Bhai, you should be at least having a chat with him. Very sweet guy, Aratha. But in his case, Akshata, as you asked, it was a different because he was already a player of Asian origin, playing in India for a long time. Debuted with East Bengal, played for so many seasons out there, various clubs, and then he was also in the process of building up his family out here. He took his decision to surrender his Japanese passport and eventually went on to represent India under Wim Koevermans. One hell of a match, I remember. It was a very, very bad Indian team performance going on in the SAF championship in Nepal, 2014, I guess, 13 or 14. And we were not playing to our potential. Maldives were the hot favorites. They had displaced us. Sunil was double yellow out of the semi-final, and Maldives were all set to beat us, and Aratha took out the number 6 out of the match, and we won it through an Mondol goal. That match I remember. Anyway, that's a different story altogether. But you know what, the federation, what can the federation do? It's a very genuine question. At the max, the federation can use their good offices to be kind of pursuing, have dialogues with the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and kind of elevate it to the Ministry of Home Affairs, External Affairs, and whoever it may be. That's all what the federation can do. Obviously, in the case of a visa being delayed, it can be expedited by the federation at any time. It has been done several times in the past for so many decades. And obviously, in the near future, if it at all happens, touch wood, it shouldn't happen, it will again be done, be rest assured. But as far as citizenship is concerned, obviously, there's nothing much anyone can do, leave aside the federation. But yeah, having said that, some dialogues with the ministry officials and the ministry, good relationship which they have, if they can kind of set up a dialogue, explain the situation once again. It has been done in the past. It didn't happen, but it does not means that doesn't mean that we cannot reapproach or reopen, because here is a case of someone who has come here and asking for an Indian citizenship. At that time when talks were initiated, it was all for the dual passport citizenship, to allow the dual passport. But here is an entirely different case. I see the federation, maybe they already have it in their plans. That's all from a bird's eye view I can say they can do. And as far as the sympathy of players of Indian origin coming out to play, not any other sport favors this, because if you look at the Indian sporting scenario, it's fast changing. It has kind of changed quite a bit. We are not a sporting nation anymore. But if you look around, uh, look at badminton. We have world champions in the women's category. Men's top three in the three shuttlers in the top 20 of the world. We have won the Thomas Cup. Shooting, wrestling, boxing. We win Olympic medals, men, women. If you look at hockey, which is doesn't have that structure of what Indian football has, despite being the sentimental sport of the country, the men went on to win the bronze in the Olympics. Heartbreak for the entire nation. The women could not, the girls could not do it, but all sympathies to them. And whenever they play, we have a feeling, okay, aaj to din hai, chak de India, chalo karo. So that's the sympathy. If you take up any other individual sports also, it's possibly the same situation, and the unthinkable has happened in Neeraj Chopra winning a javelin gold in athletics in the Olympics. So India do not just participate in World Championship, Olympics, or world events. We go there with a chance of winning medals. In such a situation, glorification for a sport like football, which very honestly we haven't been able to perform at the even at the Asian level since 1970. Why will the rules be? Why will you find sympathy for that? Means that a ministry official some years back told me, Nilanjan, come on, you always speak to me about the dual citizenship rule. A very top level official. Name me one country, all age groups, 16, 19, 22 and senior, men and women, you can beat one match, each and every match you can win. Which he meant, एक मैच कोई भी देश के साथ, हर कोई एज ग्रुप के साथ हम जीत सकते हैं. And I stumbled. He said, Bangladesh, you can't. Nepal, we struggle. So that's the kind of attitude, I won't say attitude, that's the kind of perception people have towards Indian football. Unfortunately, that's what it is. So we won't get much sympathy out there, is what my personal opinion is. Let me be proven entirely wrong. I would be the happiest person if I am proven wrong. Let it happen, and with each and every country gaining this advantage, And with the World Cup team number of participating teams getting expanded, there are certain teams in Asia which cannot all of a sudden overnight change the structure of the football in their own country, and hence they are kind of taking people of their origin into their teams. It's already all world over. Ranjit Bhai pointed out it's all over. Each and every team which plays in the World Cup maybe has one or two out there. Why shouldn't we, or why can't we? Because we are at a disadvantage. But it's the law of the land. That's the debate, and nothing we can do about it. But yeah, if the federation can initiate talks, but they cannot be held responsible even if those talks do not bear fruit.
Pranay, carrying on to what Nilanjan said, that of course there's a sentiment and there's a comparison to other sports. You have studied the models of other countries as well. Do you think that OCIs is the only way for us to move ahead?
See, I think it's not just one factor that can, level us up. There's multiple levels and layers of factors that we need to look after. अगर मैं like basic चीजों की अगर मैं बात करूँ, the very basic, I think we just introduced VR Lite, in terms of just, I'm saying, improving grassroots football. So we are, I think, at this point, whatever comes, we should gladly accept with open hands. Be it, and this could be at all fronts. We have this vision that was just launched a year back. The Vision 2047. There they have mentioned a lot of things. And it cannot be just done via the basis of what's written and what's not written. There are these factors like dual citizenship, OCIs. All of these factors do account, they do account us in some or the another way. In terms of just talking about OCIs, I think with Triman being the first case, I mean, not being the first case, but I mean, if he is able to execute it, I think it is gonna open a big opportunity for us, for footballers across the world. One of the things that I think, when I was listening to Ranjit sir and Triman and Nilanjan sir, the only way that how I feel right now is just to go to Rio and just tell him that, tweet something about Triman. That's how I think we can open and initiate a dialogue. But like Nilanjan sir said, it's not just AIFF. Who's into, it's not in their hands right now. It's like the ministry and all of these things come into play. But I somehow still feel that with, I think, Shadi sir, and we have a good amount of political backing right now in AIFF. Like, I don't want to sound too bash, but like we have good amount of political backing right now, which was not there if we compare it in the, like previously. So I think with that
Yeah,
being done,
I
and
agree.
that
I
might
agree.
open. Yeah.
I agree totally.
Yeah, with that being said, I think that is the only way that I see. It could, like, Triman could become one of the rare and the special cases that can open up
Yeah.
an area of opportunities for us.
Yes, I mean, like
Ranjit,
you said, we have a lot of politicians in the Indian Football Federation, but I think they should at least acknowledge me. I'm not saying help me, that's another question, but they should at least acknowledge me after the sacrifice I made, instead of replying to a person that's just sitting in England, just tweeting, and that's easy. Everybody can do that. But coming and leaving their country for Indian football, and not even acknowledging me and replying to my tweet, or messaging me, or anybody reaching out to me from the Indian Football Federation, that's where my concern lays. And if their intent is really for the betterment
I'm
of Indian
sure. I'm
football,
sure if
yeah.
Nilanjan Datta was still there in the AFF media right now, he would have made sure that he would have got you a reply. But but
I mean,
see,
yeah, one of the
Have,
things that I
have,
agree
have,
is that
patience,
Jan's
have
not here.
patience, Prima, have
yeah, that's
patience.
exactly what
I believe
exactly
people
my
will
words out of my mouth. You have come to
have
India,
patience.
bro. You need to have not patience. You need to have lots of patience. And no, I'm not saying you need to have. Don't. I'm not saying wait for 5 years and wait for 3 years. But you need to wait for patience. Things are happening, and if things are meant to be, hopefully we have started the dialogue, and I think this might just lead us into a dialogue where they are forced to, when they, I say they again, it's not the AFF, when the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports are at least forced to answer that either it will be this way or that way. You can't keep us hanging in the middle. So,
And
Akshata.
just one
Ranjit
more
is,
thing, one more thing
yeah,
that I'll
sorry,
add
Pranay.
is that Jan's not here, right? Like, he's not here, right? He's tweeting out there from, you know, England. We have Triman here, right? We have a player who's right here, who's open, you know, who's done everything that needs to be done. So, you know, why is he being not heard of? So that's it.
घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर.
So I'm sorry, due to the lack of time, I'm going to. My next question is both for Ranjit and Triman, and I just want to club some of the questions. What are the realistic plans going forward? Of course, we are expecting dialogues, but realistically, अगर हम list down करना चाहें तो आगे का plan क्या है?
So,
Also, of course, Indian national team के लिए खेलना can be a little challenging considering the situation right now. But can you throw some light on what can be a career possibility when it comes to club football in India right now for 3 years?
okay, so I would, because at this age, it's either coming and playing for the country at under 19, under 20, 21 AFC level, or going back to Belgium, because otherwise he'll stop developing. So if he's not going to be here playing for the country, then I'd rather have him go there for 3, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years till we change our laws, and then maybe one day come back after playing for maybe one of the top clubs of Europe. See, how do foreign countries foreign means Asian countries make it to the World Cup? Like, for example, Japan, all their players in the national team don't play in Japan, they play in Europe. Iran, same. Korea, same. When we have 10 Indians playing in the top European leagues, we will get there to the Asian Cup, top 8, top 6, top 4, guaranteed. And I know Nilanjan Datta is agreeing with me because that's exactly what it is. It's not rocket science. So what we were trying to cut short now, like Pranay said very nicely, it's a vicious cycle that we can't be in the top 60, 70, so we can't have players going there. How do we get there? So this was a shortcut. How do we get to the top 60, 70? Yes, if we have players of Indian origin coming back, 6, 7 of them, good enough, we can make it in the top 60, 70. The ranking in 60, 70 and 100 with 7 solid, 8 solid players who played all their lives in Europe, people like Triman who can now make it later, or people like Danny Bath and all those guys who are playing in the European Premier Leagues or Narsings or whoever, man, in the Dutch league, them coming back to India, being part of this gives us a great shot in being the top 8 in Asia, gives us a great shot for being in the World Cup now. But if this law is not changed, the only thing Triman can do right now is hope that he gets a team offer from one of the 4 clubs who are going to qualify for the Reliance Under 22 next gen tournament in the UK, where he can be picked up from one of these clubs, from one of the Reliance clubs, whoever makes it, and they can take him because two boys of OCI or Indian origin can play in that team. And I know for a fact the only team which has people of Indian origin is Reliance. No other teams are using this rule right now because it was made for them, because it was their league. So good enough. If they are using it, might as well at least Triman should get some game time and prove himself, and then people can keep an eye on uh, his future, his talent, and keep supporting him throughout, so that one day maybe it's possible, because he's already done the impossible. He's come back. If today it was a possibility for him to tear up his Belgian passport and get an Indian passport, this boy would not take 1 second to do it, because he went to the Belgium embassy, Indian embassy, saying, I want to give up my passport. He came here to the DC office, I want to give up my passport. He came to the passport office, I want to give up my passport. Not possible. So, yeah, and he wants to do it. So there is no, the legal procedure is so tough right now, and that's the normal thing in India because of a colonial history. All the laws are going to get time to change, and things are not going to happen overnight. Like in AFF, for the first time, we have a footballer. Oh, that's Nilanjan Datta speaking. So the first time we have a footballer who is the president of AIFF. It's never happened in 85 years. So at least, so changes are there. And now, because maybe the kind of people we have in the AIFF, maybe this dialogue will be taken. I can be assured the people who were there earlier, like the president, like you're saying, Shaji is not replying to your email, man. I couldn't get a meeting for 4 months, just a reply from Mr. Praful Patel for 4 months. So now things are looking better. But you coming, Triman, I think hats off to you. And I just want to say, don't be disappointed and disjointed because your heart was in the right place. And that's why you got so much of love and appreciation from all the Indians. I knew from a very early
Thank you.
fact that it'll be very, very tough for him to do this and pull this off. That's why I wanted him to be here to support him. It was not that I was going to be earning $1 million or any dollars through him at all in any way. And in fact, if he does go back to Belgium, I'm not going to be his agent anymore or representing him. The whole point was making sure this boy, because he wants to do this for my country and he's calling it my country as well. So that's where it came from. And I'll keep supporting him no matter what happens.
Triman, if unfortunately things don't work out for you in India, what are your backup plans?
Actually, I haven't thought about that very much. It was just all India, matter of fact. But I think after I can find some options back in Europe. It's not that I couldn't cope with the level there because I see that a lot of people committing fraud or like saying I wasn't good enough in Belgium, that's why I'm coming. It's not the case. It was just because my personal choice and what I want to do for my country. But even if I go back to Europe, it's not a goodbye. It's a see you later, I would say. So yeah, I mean, you never know what could happen in the future. But I'm not even thinking about going back to Belgium. That's not what I'm thinking about actually. But I just want to try to make it work, and let's see if it does. But even if I go back, it's I still have to accomplish something, and just showing that I wanted to play for the country is still a thing that nobody does and has done after Rataizumi, of course, but still an accomplishment for me. And I've gained a lot of fans. That's also really a proud moment for me and my family. The support I've been given is like you have no idea how much messages I've been getting, calls, and people just begging me to answer the question, but so much. But yeah, I really want to play for the country one day, and I hope the AFFF helps me get my passport, or does the government of India just supports me in this. And yeah, if they don't, and if they can't, let's see what I can do. But I'm not sure about that.
Nilanjan, I think since we have limited time now, we can start taking the final comments. Is there anything else that you would like to add on to the entire discussion, or do you think that we have missed out on any points that we can discuss?
Nothing, nothing. Timran, you have the heart and support of 1 billion people. So don't feel dejected ever. Everyone's backing you and wanting you to do this. And it's a huge decision in life at the age of 18. Someone at the time when he starts turning professional in Europe is coming to a kind of an unknown land, which has a very uncertain future as far as the sport is concerned. It shows his character, it shows his desperation and the love for the country. I can only wish you good luck. And you have the support of 1 billion people, if not 1.4. Everything, and I am a big devotee of Lord Shiva, and Jai Sri Mahakaleshwar, आपकी हर कोई जो इरादा है पूरी करे, मैं यही कह सकता हूँ, दुआई दे सकता हूँ आपको. Good luck, and obviously wanting you to, will be following you to play, see you play wherever you play, and good luck. That's only I can say. Means it's a huge decision, and it means a lot for Indian, not just Indian football, Indian sports overall.
Thank you.
Pranay, any closing comments? You're on mute, Pranay.
Same. I think, yeah, I think I agree with Nilanjan Da. I think 1 billion to nahi, but we have like a 100K strong community like of football people who watch our content and on Instagram and across all platform. So Triman, anytime you need help, man, gladly we'll just connect, and whatever help you need, man, in terms of raising voice on social media. Unfortunately, like, that is the best we can do right now, and that is the best I can do right now, is to raise our voice, get this reached out to the highest level, whatever it is. So we'll definitely support you, man, and yeah, all the best, good luck, and I really hope things do turn out good at the end.
Yes, thank you, sir. I really appreciate the kindness.
Ranjit, any closing comments, or do you think that we missed out on any point that you would want to touch on?
Just to let all the teams who are gonna be qualifying for the, so I'm supposed to be his agent, so now I have to do this. Okay, so all the players, all the teams, sorry, who are going to be qualifying for the next gen tournament, please take Triman. In fact, he's so desperate to play. He says he's been saying, I don't want any money. And obviously, I hope people understand agents don't earn any money if the player himself is not taking any money. Okay, so all we want is an opportunity for him to play, so that he can show the world, and that it was not just that he wants to come and play. He wants to come and perform for an Indian team, for an Indian club, his country. And that would be a great way, even if suppose these things don't work out later. So what I think Pranay can do, the moment Pranay we know who are the finalists and the ones who qualify, because they can't change the team now. So ones who qualify, they'll have a chance to change their team and put addition names before they go in October or September for the next gen tournament. And maybe all we want is, even if we can get a trial for him, one of those teams, we can at least get him to see, because trust me, he deserves it. And we as Indians at least deserve to give him that, so that he can show us what he's made of.
Triman, before I come to you for your final comments, I just want to quickly touch upon a thing that has already been told you enough of times in this podcast, which is to have patience. Just have patience and keep up the work that you're doing, and just keep doing your work. And I'm sure the right people will reach out to you on their own when the right time comes. So don't lose out on the patience. I know it's a very difficult thing to leave your family behind. I don't know, you must be living with your relatives here, and you're very young, so it can be very overwhelming sometimes. But just hold on to the hope and hold on to your hard work, and I'm sure you will see the results. Please go ahead with your final comments.
Yes, I would first of all thank you and everyone that joins and supporting me in this journey and spreading the message. Yeah, I hope I can make this work. I wouldn't want anything else than just play in the blue kit of India and just represent my country and be the first to do this coming from a European country. But yeah, it's been a heck of a journey. It's been less than a month, and look what's have been happening. I signed with the Jeet sir. I played with Delhi FC first team. I played with the Texture first team. I've like more than dozen interviews. I've got more than 15 articles about me, and like in a span of 25 days, I think. And yeah, I can't imagine what could happen if I stay here long term after I get my nationality, if they're willing to help me in this case. But yeah, I think if the governments help me and if I get that passport, I think there are really good things to come. But that's up to them to decide. But where my fate is concerned, I will just do my best and do my absolute best to make my family proud and make my country proud. That's what I have to say.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us today. I'm very grateful to each one of you for your time and your valuable insights. And wishing Triman and Ranjit all the best for this incredible journey they are on. So, hoping for good days. And as as Arnava keeps saying that let's just keep showing unconditional support to Indian football, and hoping for better days. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.